What's going on, WolfPack Nation, and welcome back to today's video. In this video, we're going to talk about a few things. Of course, we're going to talk about tonight's game against number 21 undefeated Liberty at home at Carter Finley, but we also got to touch on NC State's impressive and nice win against Florida State last Saturday. State won 38-22. Obviously, Florida State not one of the tougher opponents on our schedule, but it's nice to see State taking care of business and getting a solid win. Florida State was shorthanded pretty much. We talked about that in the last video, going into this game, missing so many players that have opted out and injuries, transfers, and at the last minute, I found out that they were going to be without their new starting quarterback, Jordan Travis, who was a huge loss for them. They ended up having to start a true freshman at quarterback who struggled at times, and especially in the first half, where they didn't seem to have any confidence in him throwing the football. They went wildcat a lot. Purdy did settle down in the second half. He threw a couple touchdown passes, but it was a little too late because NC State's offense from the get-go was rolling. And thanks to Thayer Thomas, who had 11 catches, 135 yards, and a couple touchdowns. And Mezzi, as you've seen earlier, had a great touchdown catch, beautiful move to get into the end zone. He played very well. It was about, the receivers, who had 6 different pass catchers, and Hockman spreading the ball around, 3 touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown here as well. All around, the offense played great. It wasn't just the receivers, and Bailey Hockman. Bam Knight nearly had 100 yards and a touchdown. The defense also stepped up. Baker Williams had an interception, and they played just very, very solid. And late in the second half, they gave up some big plays. For the most part, you got to give the defense a lot of credit for the way they played. But this whole season, the story, and it's so obvious that State's offense is so much improved from last year. I seen something that State's offense last year did not score 30 points at all against a Power 5 team. And this year they've already scored 30 plus in 6 of their 8 games. Just a testament to offensive coordinator Tim Beck, who's come over and just been outstanding for the offense. Just so many playmakers. They spread the ball around. They have the run game involved. And this is their second-string quarterback. Can't overlook what Coach Beck has done for the offense. And look at this play right here by the Florida State corner. This is one of the best interceptions I think I have ever seen. Between the legs, that is one of the only mistakes Bailey Hockman made. And you have to cut him some slack, because that is one of the best plays I think I've seen in a long, long time. But now, after NC State gets this win, improves to 5-3. One of the biggest games of the season coming up, and I'm sure nobody really had this one marked on the calendar in the preseason, but it is going to be a huge game tonight at 7:30 against an undefeated number 21 ranked Liberty team coming into Carter Finley. This game right here is really one that's fascinating and very interesting, in my opinion, for State. Because when you come into the season this year, and being different with COVID, you only have one non-conference game. And so State schedules Liberty, and even in my previous video where I broke down our schedule for State and gave my predictions for each game, I didn't spend much time on Liberty because I figured, it's Liberty. State can handle them. You shouldn't have any problem with that. Well, fast forward almost to the end of the season, Liberty's 8-0 and ranked 21st in the country. So you got to give this team a lot of credit, and it's not like they haven't played anybody. Of course, they've had some pretty easy games on the schedule, like last week against Western Carolina. They demolished them. But this team has went on the road and beaten Syracuse for one. It was one ACC team they've knocked off, and then they went on the road a couple weeks ago and beat a Virginia Tech team, a team that NC State lost to, and Virginia Tech has been ranked in this season as well. So you have to give them credit. They haven't just beaten against some pitiful, teams. They've beaten solid ACC teams, and they're looking to knock off another one in State. And State's going to have to be playing on their A game. Going to have to play better than they did last week, definitely, to knock off this team. You can tell from this pretty old footage that it's been a while since the last time State has played Liberty in football. And this is actually the only time State has ever played Liberty in football. This was back when we had Mike Glennon under center playing quarterback. And also, this is back when State this was the year that David Emerson, the star corner for NC State, had 13 interceptions. He had 2 in this game. Also, Earl Wolf on defense, the great linebacker, had an interception in this game as well. So you can tell it's been a while, but State's going to look to stay undefeated, improved to 2-0 against Liberty all time, but it's going to be a tough one. This is going to be a lot harder than this game was for sure. Probably the main reason why this game is going to be a lot tougher on State is because that Liberty is led by their junior quarterback and star quarterback, Malik Willis, who has been outstanding on this season. He has 15 touchdown passes to just 1 interception. He's also got 9 rushing touchdowns and 700 yards on the ground, averaging 7 yards a carry. He has been outstanding on this season, over 1,600 passing yards. He has just been one of the best quarterbacks in college football, leading Liberty to the undefeated season so far. He's another one of those dual threat guys. We've seen it with De'Aaron King. I thought we were going to see it last week with Jordan Travis, but we didn't. He was out. But again, State faced with one of those dual threat quarterbacks again. And he's going to be the key. Can they slow him down? And can they slow this Liberty offense down that scores at will? 56 points last week, 38 against a solid Virginia Tech team. They can go up the field quick. They can do it within the run game. Willis can do it with his legs and with his arm. And that's going to be the key for NC State getting a win. And despite, Liberty being undefeated, ranked 21st, State does come into this game as a slight favorite. I believe a 4.5-point favorite over the Flames. So State comes in slight favorite despite Liberty being undefeated. So I believe for my prediction, I am going to continue with that. And I am going to say State pulls off the quote-unquote upset over Liberty. Got to stick with the pack, stick with my preseason prediction. State knocks off Liberty, gives them their first loss of the season. I'm going to say a score of 41-33. But if you ask me for a score in the preseason, I would not have said anything close to this close of a score. Liberty is a team that's just been really, really surprising. And it's nice to see a team like that get a lot of recognition. And they deserve it. Coach Freeze deserves it. A potential replacement for Will Muschamp at South Carolina. We'll see what happens there. But anyway, I think State will get this win, knock off Liberty. A little upset, I guess you could say. Offense, I think, will be on display for both sides in this game. Maybe a shootout could happen. Two great offenses. Defense may be at a minimum, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. Hopefully State can get this win, of course. And hopefully this comes to truth. So that's my prediction for tonight's game. Make sure you tune in at 7:30. The WolfPack taking on the Flames, looking to give them their first loss of the season. State trying to improve to 6-3. We'll see what happens. Hopefully State can pull out this dub. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you are new, make sure you join WolfPack Nation. And as always, go Pack, and thank you for watching.